Good day, students. This recorded session uh, is made to prepare you for your lab test 3 on value stream mapping that will be written this coming Friday on the 25th of October, right? So your value stream mapping, you'll need to perform it on an application called Draw.io, right? So the main purpose of this lab session is to go through with you on how you should conduct your value stream mapping on Draw.io, right? So I'll be taking you through the symbols that you need to use, of which some I believe you'll be familiar to, and how to drag and drop certain symbols onto your working space, how to manipulate text, and yeah, how to manipulate your view of your symbols and so on, right? Now, without wasting time, your app is on the website. So in order to get into the app, you simply have to search Draw.io. So once it appears like that, you'll just click enter, and then you'll choose the second option there, Draw.io, and then you'll click start, right? So you'll have this interface, and then you'll just need to click start. Then your Draw.io will load. Then you can just, if you had previously drawn something, that draft will appear, but we are not using the previous draft. We'll be using a clean draft, right? A clean sheet. So you'll just cancel that, and then you can say, so these are the locations where you can choose to save your diagram, right? But you won't really need to save this file, as you will not be submitting this file, but you'll be submitting a screenshot of your work into Excel and then submitting your Excel file, right? So just go ahead and click Decide Later, and then you'll come across this interface, right? So on these grid lines, this is where you'll be working on. And then on the right, we have different types of functionalities, right? From your paper size um, um, to connection arrows, connection points, guides, and to the size of your grid. So this is the sizes of your grid, and yeah, other styles, right? But yeah, I'll show you the other stuff that are more important, right? So because you will need to perform a value stream mapping based on a scenario, you will need the symbols that are related to value stream mapping. So you'll go to the top left search bar there, return search shapes, and then you'll say you'll type value stream mapping, right? And then it'll produce these symbols that you are familiar with, right? Some you might not be familiar with, but I believe most of them you're familiar with, right? Then you can click on more results to get more shapes, right? More symbols, right? Now, if you can hover over them, over each, I won't hover over all of them, but I'll just hover over the important ones, right? So normally you need a data box, right, where you put in your cycle times, your changeover times, your batch size. That's if you're given a scenario whereby it's dealing in batches, and then your available time, right? And then underneath available time, it's space whereby you can put in, for example, machine reliability, machine efficiency, and so on, right? Then you have a customer or supplier symbol, of which I believe you are familiar with, and you have the process description. Um, some other ones you should not be concerned with. I'll just drag on the symbols that are more important, right? But you are more than welcome to explore other symbols and how to perform your value stream mapping on Draw.io on YouTube. So you can access also YouTube in order to gain more knowledge as to how to better perform your value stream mapping, right? So I'm just gonna put on the symbols that are important, and then I'll just explain them briefly, right? Okay, so you also need this push arrow. So this push arrow indicates that you are moving to the next process, right? And then we have a track. So this track, it says 2 times per week. So if your company or the supplier is transporting items to an external customer, and they are transporting twice a week, it's fine to have it like this. Otherwise, if it's once per week, you can edit the text inside this symbol of a truck, right? By just double clicking and then editing. So say um, another scenario says that they transport once a week, right? That's what you'll do, right? And then another symbol is of an operator. So you can manipulate your symbols, right? By that, I mean you can change the sizes of your symbols, right? So this symbol symbolizes an operator, right? So say on a certain process, it takes two operators to complete the process. What you'll do is, so you'll put on your symbol, your operator symbol, and then you can double click next to that symbol and click on the text, right? That text, you can align it. So Draw.io enables you to align text to your symbols, right? You can see that by that line. So that blue solid line that is cutting the operator symbol in half indicates to you that that is the center point, right? So that is the center point between your text and your symbol, right? Okay, so once you have aligned your text to your symbol, you can easily say, for instance, that in this process, it's only one operator, and then maybe in the other process, maybe it's 5 operators, right? So that's how you put in the text and how you align your text to your symbols, right? Okay, another important symbol is your data box, right? So each process should have a data box. So a data box has your CTCO batch available parameters. So I'm gonna discuss that. What does CT mean? Cycle time. CO, changeover time. Batch. So if your scenario deals in batches, uh, or your production line is producing in batches, you will state there. Otherwise, if it's not applicable, you can leave it as is, right? And then available, that is the total available time for each process. And then underneath there, that is where you can double click and then put in uh, um, information such as machine availability, availability, and then say equals to, and then put in whatever percentage, right? Here it's just giving me these red lines because I didn't spell correctly. So availability, that's how you spell it, right? And then you put in your information there, right? Then so you can have multiple data boxes, right? So it's as simple as dragging and dropping, and then you can nicely align. So Draw.io helps you in aligning, right? So this grid interface at the back helps you with the aligning of your symbols, right? Um, another information that you need is your production control. So this can be either um, the department that deals with production control, quality control, and so forth. So if this department sends, so this department can be sending messages, electronic messages to a supplier, informing them this quality is not good, and so on and so on, right? So the symbols you need for that are this symbol, right? So you can rotate it. So how you rotate that, I'm going to show you that. So it's as simple as clicking on that symbol and clicking on the blue icon like that, right? And then just pointing uh, your your symbol to the other symbol, right? So in this case, we are saying production control is sending messages monthly to XYZ Corporation, right? Or supplier A, right? And then we have the shipment error, right? The shipment error is with regards to informing us that, okay, uh, this customer or this company is transporting is transporting so the supplier is transporting goods from okay, it's transporting goods from their distribution center to the customer, right? So this also can be used, this symbol can be used to showcase, to symbolize the customer or the supplier, right? So here we can say this is the customer, and then this is the supplier, and then this is the department of the of the uh, of our company to our supplier, right? Then you can just align it nicely, and then you can just align it nicely like that, and so forth, right? And then another symbol is of your inventory, right? So this is the symbol you use. So if says say the symbol is too big, how do you minimize? So you look at these blue circles. You can click on any of them, and you can just um, drag your mouse and then just adjust accordingly, right? Like that, to any size that is to your comfort, right? Then okay, another important symbol is your timeline. So if you can remember, at the top is where you have the time it takes for each process, and then at the bottom, um, your timeline symbol showcases um, so at the top of your timeline, this is where you will have the time it takes to finish each process. So for example, say if a process takes 12.5 minutes, you will write it as such, and then say the lead time between process 1 or process A to process B is maybe 5 days, or whatever units that is. It can be days, hours, and so forth. You put it underneath there like that. You can also uh, yeah, so you can put it at the bottom, right? Or you can put it at the top. So you can put that text also at the top. It's to your choosing, right? So you can write the 5 days here. Um, I advise that you write your units for days in full, like that, if it's in days, right? Then on another process, you'll have a certain time, let's say 15 minutes, and so on and so on and so on, right? And then that's how you perform your timeline, right? So normally your processes are like this. So you have process A, process B, right? Uh, yeah, like that, right? So forth and so forth, right? And then you can be having your push arrows like that. signifying that after this process, process A, comes process B. So you can write the text at the top of your data box, then say it's whatever process. Say on this process, they are sewing. It's a sewing process. They're sewing maybe stuffed toys, right? Sewing machine. Then here can be, maybe you can say it's painting machine. I'm just being random. Painting department, and so on and so on, right? So you can nicely align your text like that. So there are lines that guide you, these solid thin blue lines, right? That guide you as to how better aligned your text is, or your symbols are, right? And then you can have your inventory here. Then you can have another inventory in the middle, because after each process there's inventory that develops, right? So after sewing machine, certain products are made, and then they'll be used in the second process, and so on and so on and so on, right? um am I forgetting another symbol? Okay, so just to go back a bit with regards to these arrows. So okay, here on this text on monthly, you can just uh, click on it, and then you can place it next to the arrow like that. That looks much better, right? So these kind of arrows, um, they are for electronic communication. So if um, this company is sending maybe uh, electronic communication to this supplier, this is the kind of symbol you use, right? Or if they are using an MRP system. So if they are using an MRP system, uh, you use this kind of a symbol, right? You can even, for as a self-study, you can check out what an MRP system is, right? And then I believe that are all the symbols that you need. Okay, let me just hover over them just to check. So you are not really limited in your creativity as to how you can draw your value stream mapping, but these are the main symbols that you need, right? And that are generally used, that are commonly used in value stream mapping. But you are more than welcome to I advise that you go to other platforms like YouTube and see how they conduct their value stream mapping using Try.o, but you'll most definitely see that they use these symbols, right? Um, for doing their value stream mapping, right? Um, Another thing is you need to also be aware that so you'll need to recall the the value stream mapping you did with your lecturer. Um, and yeah, you should be prepared for your lab test, right? And just a gentle reminder, your lab test will be written from 10:30, and you'll be given 2 hours to complete your value stream mapping, right? Another important tip I can give is that, say your value stream map is doesn't fit. So if you are trying to take a screenshot and your work doesn't fit into one view, what you can always do is go to the top left and go to the zoom function and just reduce your work a bit so that you can be able to screenshot your work in one go, right? And how do you screenshot? Because remember, you'll be required to screenshot your work onto your Excel, right? So I'm just going to demonstrate how you do that, right? So how you do that is you will, excuse me, so you will have to go to, let me just close this and open it from scratch. So say you're done with your work and you're ready to screenshot your work, you'll just search, you can search. Okay, my search function, it's taking long to come up. Okay, my search function is not working, but I have my snipping tool pinned to my taskbar here. So, uh, but I'll show you again during your test how to screenshot. Should there be any people having difficulties? But otherwise, if you are ready to screenshot your work, you'll just click on your snipping tool, and then there'll be this window that appears once you open your snipping tool, and then you'll just click on new snip, and then there'll be a white background that comes up, and then there'll be this uh, um, symbol of it's like a plus sign, right? Meaning that you are ready to snip whatever work you have done, right? So how you do that is you just start at the corner of your work and then you click once and then you drag. So as you're dragging, you'll see a red border, right? Uh, on that is that is that has all your work in it, right? So you have that border with your work inside, and that will just simply release your finger from the mouse, right? And then that's how your picture looks. This is a preview. So if you're happy with it, you'll just save it, or you can leave it you can leave it, uh, so you can leave your picture here and you can simply um, open Excel. Okay, let me just open this. So you can just open a clean, you can open a clean sheet, and then you can click Control V immediately after you took your screenshot, right? And then you will see your work nicely pasted on your Excel. So you can just also pick a place where you want to put it on your Excel. Just make sure it's a place whereby I can easily be able to see it and be able to mark it, right? And then this will make my life easy when I'm marking, right, your work. And then you would have completed with your test, and then all you need to do is save this Excel file and submit this Excel file into your submission link, right? And then you will be done with your with your with your value stream mapping, right? But yeah, just to reiterate, just explore other content on value stream mapping on YouTube, especially with regards to value stream mapping using Draw.io, so that you are better ready for your lab test on Friday, this Friday, right? All right, that's the end of the video. Enjoy the rest of your day.